Thank you for having me here. I'm Jed Tan, and I'm practicing as a lawyer in Darryl and Loh. It's a law firm consisting of about 70 over lawyers in Malaysia, and focusing on, we have different teams specializing in different subject matter. So if you would like to know more about Darryl and Loh, please feel free to search it up. And if you have any questions, you can approach me after this session. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you how much I hate my work. I'm the 15% who actually quite love about what I'm doing. That's because I don't treat law as a career. I treat it as a passion. I love doing law, and I will explain to you later why I love doing it. Okay, just to share with you some of my academic journey. Basically, I completed my high school in KL, and I did my A-levels for 1.5 years with Help University. And then I went to Help for my first year, and I pursued my last year in University of Manchester. Graduated from University of Manchester. I took a gap year, and I was just doing dancing. I accepted a few dancing jobs in the UK to pursue a bit more of my interest. And finally, I did my bar in Manchester Metropolitan. I came back, and then I did my chambering, and then I'm called to the Malaysian Bar in the year 2015, and I am now practicing. This is my 4th year of practice in Darryl and Loh. So that's my sort of briefly my academic qualifications and journey. Okay, so Joel mentioned about dancing. Yes, indeed, when I was in high school, there was quite a number of things which I loved doing, and among them was dancing. I love mathematics. I love chemistry as well, and I love history to a certain extent. Okay, so and why not dancing? A lot of people ask me why I don't pursue a career in dancing. Not because I excel in dancing. One of the reasons why I think dancing is not suitable is because I don't see dancing as a career. I see it as a side interest. So now being a lawyer, it doesn't stop you from dancing. You can still dance if you want to. So I think first step is to differentiate between what you can make up a career from and the things that you can do it as a side interest. And I think that is very useful when I was doing my decision making. Okay, and typical Asian parents being typical Asian parents, so they will tell you that dancing is not a good choice. Okay, even more so if you're a guy, you shouldn't be dancing at your age right now. Okay, so how I managed to convince my parents to let me continue dancing is by using results, proving that dancing will not adversely affect my result in any way. That's when my dad, in particular, he was sort of later on accepted the fact that, okay, just go ahead and dance, as long as you are still keeping up with your studies. Okay, so mathematics, I love mathematics. I was actually thinking of pursuing a degree in actuarial science, but I eventually dropped that. That's because after a bit of research, I found out that law offer a wider career options, and I also see the practical side of law. Okay, let me share with you what I mean by practical side of law. Okay, so to me, in everything you do, law is there. Okay, you will have to, for example, like when you sign up for this program and you turn up and maybe banks tell you that you don't have a space here. Okay, so a contract is formed, right? So then it's for you to argue your right to have a spot in here. So to me, everything you do, law is there. Okay, there are elements of law. You have to deal with law. So what I think law degree will help me is basically help me to understand and to manage legal risks. Let's say in the future, if you want to venture into businesses, okay, law degree will be a very useful tool. Okay, and from my research at least, I found out that law is actually very popular, even among non-law employers. I can share with you some of what some of my friends did. So basically, I have friends who completed their degree, qualified as a lawyer in Malaysia, and now she's working in Singapore with Charles and Keith, not as a legal person, but as an admin marketing person. So yes, and I do have friends as well. They completed their law degree, and they're doing some direct marketing now, and they're actually doing very good in all these areas. So law degree to me is a very flexible kind of subject. okay? Okay, so through work experience, what I would like to share with you is also that a lot of people has the perception that, law is just about knowing the law and applying the law. It's very rigid, a lot of tedious reading. But on the contrary, I do not think that this is the case, especially after I have been working for 4 years. And I will share with you the reason why I say that. To me, yes, law is about knowing the law. One thing, you have to know the law in order to advise your client on the law. But law doesn't just stop there, okay? Law is about knowing the law, understand the objectives behind why certain law is drafted in a certain manner, who this law is targeted to protect. For example, Consumer Protection Act is targeted to protect the consumer. So you have to know all this. I think then it will help you in sort of making law a bit more interesting. Okay, so having said that, I think what I've come across is also that law gives me the flexibility. Okay, to give an example, a statute can be subject to so many different possible interpretations. Okay, some may be supported by case law, some may not even have any precedents, right? So our job is to read the law, understand the law, interpret the law, and find case law to support your argument. And that, to me, is a very interesting and fun process. I'm speaking genuinely. So that to me is a very interesting and yet fun process, because the moment you found something which is in favor of your interpretation, you get that I don't know, you feel accomplished in a way, because you get supports. So that to me is a very fun process. And I certainly think that pursuing a law degree doesn't just stop there. You don't have to be a lawyer, or doesn't stop you from pursuing other things. And also it gives you open doors to other professions. Because from what I mentioned, it's a very recognized and reputable profession. Okay, so next is what am I doing right now in RDL. I am a corporate lawyer in RDL. I do general corporate works. I also specialized in a few areas in ICT, information communications technology, including technology, multimedia laws. To give you some examples, I advise clients, multinational clients, on system implementation, software implementation, cloud as a services. For example, like all the apps that you're downloading at the moment, okay, they're all cloud services. Most of them, I can say 90% of it is cloud services. I also specialize in personal data protection to a certain extent. So I do get some compliance works, like a corporation may come to us asking us to advise them in terms of their compliance with the PTPA, negotiating contracts for the clients, advisory works as well. On top of that, we also advise telco companies in Malaysia and outside Malaysia in terms of compliance, again, negotiation of contracts, advising them on legal risks involved in certain contractual arrangements, mergers and acquisitions as well. So that is what I'm doing. So if you want to know more about what I'm doing, feel free to approach me after this session. I will share with you what I'm actually doing and share with you more about my work experience. Last but not least, so I am actually also thinking of venturing into businesses in future. Maybe not in near future. I think once I get a bit more experience in law, I think I want to venture into some other possible businesses. That's because I want to explore businesses. I don't want to just be doing law. And I think knowing law can certainly be a very good tool for me when I'm venturing into different businesses, because then I know how to manage my legal risk, okay, without being charged, if you get what I mean, okay? So I think that's all I have. Thank you.